In this video, we will be going over how to journal your trades properly and effectively. But before we get into it, make sure to subscribe, give this video a like, and follow me on Instagram to keep up to date with what I do on a day-to-day basis. So what is journaling? So journaling is the fundamental data collection that you need to do as a trader. Why do you need to do it? It's very simple, really. Trading is something that's not really personal. It should be thought of as a business. Big banks think of trading as a business, so why shouldn't you? Journaling helps you as a trader collect data on yourself and how you are as a trader, how good you are at certain things, how good you are not at when it comes to certain things. This data then helps to guide you on a journey of self-improvement and improving your trading overall. So don't overlook journaling. It does feel like a chore sometimes, and believe me, sometimes it does, but it's the only thing that's going to help you improve as a trader other than backtesting. Okay, so let's get straight into journaling. So on the screen, you can see my journal, and this is a journal template that I may share with you. If you like it, then let's get this video to around 20 likes. Let me go through why I have my structure like this and how it helps me. So as we can see, we have the week dates here. So we've got week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Sometimes in a month there'll be a week 5, so you can just always add that section on around here. The next one is pair. So these are the pairs that I trade. I don't actually trade all of these anymore. It's only these 3, so GU, EU, and EG at the moment. It's always nice to have it as a pop-down menu. The next column is dates. So now if I double click this box, it'll come up with a calendar and I can easily click on the date. So obviously this is essential information. So if I ever need to go back and look at the trade I've journaled here, I can have a look at it. Position. So I've put 3 options here: a buy, a sell, and missed. So these 2 are quite self-explanatory, but the third one is not. So why have I put missed here? So sometimes when you are trading in a trading week, you will miss a trade, and most people will miss the trade and not journal it. However, I think it's very important that a trade that you've missed, you should 100% journal. Whether it's a trade that you would have taken and it lost, or it was a trade that you would have taken but you weren't at the screen, or for whatever reason you missed it, always journal that trade. Because what you want to do is you want to build up a huge database of trades that you missed and you would have won, because it embeds itself in your psychology and in your brain. So when it comes to looking at setups similar to it, or near enough textbook, you are more confident in taking it. So results wise, you have win, break even, and loss. That's quite normal. And then profit loss in pips. So what I've done here is I can put in the number of pips. Let's say I make 5.2 pips in a trade and it'll come up as green. Let's say I make 0 pips in a trade, it'll come up as gray. And let's say I lose a trade and it's like negative 5.2, then it'll come up as red. That's just simple. Same thing happens for percentages as well. But as an example, let's say if I make 5%, it's green, and it's grey for 0%, and negative 1%, it will be red. Now trade type. So now this is going to be different for you as a trader. I have 4 different types of trades that I take. They form part of my strategy, and each of them are their own systems. I should actually have a pop down like I have for these ones here, but I just haven't got around to doing that yet. And that's what will go in this column. So for example, if it was a continuation trade, I'd write down continuation. If it was a reversal trade, I'll put down a reversal, for example. Risk reward. Now this is the risk reward of the trade that I wanted to get out of it before I got into the trade. So generally for me, this is a 1 to 5, unless I'm taking a certain type of trade, which forms part of my strategy where it can change. So before and after. Before is a screenshot of the trade I took before the trade plays out, and after is after the trade has taken out. So now what this helps me do is build a picture of winning trades before price action plays out and losing trades before price action plays out, and it just builds up your confidence again when taking trades. Now when it comes to analysis timeframes, I have 3. So let's say I take a trade on the 1 minute time frame, then what will happen is I will put the 1 minute here, then go up a couple time frames, so maybe the 5 minute or 15 minute, and then again go up a couple time frames, maybe the 1 hour and 4 hour, just to paint myself a picture of what price was doing, where price was at, etc. So you can get all the key information behind why you took the trade. And finally, the last part is notes. So in the notes section is where I describe the trade from things that I find in the moment I need to remember going forward. So for example, if I take a losing trade, this trade lost because there was liquidity built up above the trade, and when I took the short, price violated my order block and went and purged the liquidity instead, something like that. And then any lessons that I feel that I have learned from the trade itself. I think one thing I didn't go over was this bit here. So after I filled out all this information, I'll come back here and I'll put in a little short explanation of what the trade was like. So let's say it was a continuation trade and it failed, it'll be like continuation fail or something like that, London session or New York session, just to break it down as well. Actually, that's very important. I do need to add a column here for what time I took the trade, and basically around what session did the trade come about. Okay, so that is the first page, which I've called the month overview, as it goes over the whole month. Now if we break down and go into the weekly, this is what I have down for the week. This is quite raw at the moment. I do need to add a lot more information, for example win rate and stuff like that, but as you can see, we have these sections here, which I just copied from this page. So any information I fill out here, so let's say I put down EU, let's go today's date, let's go buy, let's say a win, say 5 pips, and let's say we make 5% or whatever. I'll come over here and it will copy out very nicely. And what it does is it fills out all this information, which is awesome. Weekly report. So now this is where I go over how my week went. Okay, breaking it down. So I took X amount of trades, X amount won, X amount lost, and how I felt the week went. Any fundamental news that affected the week. Was there NFP this week? Stuff like that. So this is the key information that you'd put in to here, and you're basically just narrating how your week went. And I think that's very important. That's the same for week 2, week 3, week 4 as well. And then the monthly summary is just how you did over the month. I will be adding a monthly overview as well. How did the month go? So you can narrate that as well. And that's basically all you really need when it comes to journaling. Obviously, the data part and data collection part, and seeing where you need to go and get better at, you'll be able to see from this information anyway, especially when you break it down in the weekly and you add stuff like how many trades did you win, how many trades you lose. And then when you start to analyze this and say, I take 5 continuation trades and I win 4 of them. I take 5 reversal trades and I lose 3 of them. So therefore, continuation trades are the types of trades that I win more often and are the ones I could essentially risk more money on compared to reversal trades. So quickly going back to the monthly summary, we would have, or what you could do is you can add whatever you need to in terms of information you want to know. Do you want to know what your win rate is for the month? Put that in. Do you want to know how many trades you've won compared to how many trades you've lost? You can put that in. And that's where you can really make your own journaling personal to yourself, so you can find out what you need to know about your trading. Let's go through an example. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to fill certain things out. Let's go have an example of this trade on Euro USD. When we come to this chart, let me just quickly break it down for you. We can see that from the Asian session, price pulls up, takes Asian high, pulls down, and then we start to create this structure where we have multiple breaks of structure to the downside. So we get, this break of structure here, we get this one over here, and then we get this one over here as well, but I'm not going to mark it out because it's going to get a bit messy. So at this point here, what we can see is price comes down and we form 2 relative equals, okay, and price pulls up. Now we know the structure is pointing to the downside. We have relative equals that price has set around here, towards the start of the New York session, and therefore shorts are on for us. And if we took the shorts, we would have made good profit, as we can see. So let's go about journaling this first. So the first thing I would do is I would start to annotate the trade idea. So fast forward to fully annotated trade idea. So as we can see, this is how I would annotate a trade idea and explain to myself why I took this trade. And this is quite a simple annotation. Obviously you can go into more depth, but make sure you don't put too much information on the screen, and you can number it as well, like I have, to ensure that you know what you were looking for, in what order, and how your trade idea came about. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to add it to my spreadsheet. So I'm going to come here to the analysis time frame, so we can paste it over here. So now it's been pasted as a link. What you do is you do the same for the other 2 time frames as well. Now let's go through it, and it'll be Euro USD. I think this was yesterday's trade. It was a sell that I actually missed, so let's put down as a missed. Result, it was a win. Profit and loss in pips, let's say we're just going to say it's like 15 pips. Percentage made, it would have made a 1 to 5. Trade type, this you could say was a continuation trade. Risk to reward, it was a 1 to 5. And then you have your before and after screenshots, which would be done like this. So you'd use your rewind tool to rewind to here, and you would have your, however you'd have it like this with stops like that or whatever. Then you just take a screenshot of this and you'd put it over here. And then the after one, you're going to come back, you're going to play it out, and then you're going to do the same thing. Take that screenshot link and you're going to paste it over here. And then what happens is we're going to write here, continuation win NY session. And then what happens is it prints itself over here, and as you can see, Euro USD, we took a trade on this date, we missed this position, but it was a win. So what I would do actually is with a missed, I wouldn't actually put this data down, I'd put down NA, but the result would be a win. So it would be like this, NA, NA, and so when you come here, it's like this. So this is how you would typically journal. I hope this video has helped you. Make sure to subscribe, give this video a like, and I'll see you in the next one.